Hi, this is Cindy at Pet Pangea, and today I'd like to talk to you about dehydrated pet food. So a lot of people, they're aware of kibble and aware of canned food. And then they see something like this on the shelf and just kind of wonder, what is that? Actually, this is really good stuff, so that's why I want to talk to you about it. This in particular, this brand is The Honest Kitchen, but there are a few different brands out there. We've carried The Honest Kitchen for several years. It is a really good quality brand in my opinion. They don't have byproduct, of course. We don't have anything really with that here. And they also, if you care about GMO, it's a non-GMO food. So how do you use this? Well, you take out what you need, add warm water, mix it up, and wait for 3 minutes so it rehydrates, and then give it to your pet. Why would you do this versus kibble? Kibble is great for convenience, but it is processed at fairly high temperatures. Typically, the extrusion process is a high temperature thing. And when you look at your kibble, as a result, it's sort of brown. This stuff, when you look at it, you can't see it probably on there, but there's like green flecks, and you can still see veggies in there and things like that. So you haven't lost that color because it's been pretty gently processed. They call it, quote, dehydrated food, but it does, the meat and fish, for example, does go through a little bit of a steam process before it's dehydrated, just to rid it of certain pathogens. I really like feeding wet food, in particular to kitties or cats, because they tend not to drink enough water, and they're very prone to urinary tract problems, kidney stones, things like that. So wet food is really great, especially for cats, to help at least get some moisture in them with the food. The other thing about this that I kind of like is that since it is dehydrated, we're not shipping a bunch of water from point A to point B. So it's reducing the amount of fossil fuels used in the transport of pet food, but you're still able to serve a wet food. And this brand in particular, I like. It is, quote, a human grade food. So that means two things: that they have both human grade ingredients, and they also have human manufacturing practices. So in order to be called human grade, they have to adhere to the 21 Code of Federal Regulations on good manufacturing practices. There's also other requirements on transport, things like that. They also have to have in place a hazard analysis critical control point plan. And in fact, they go a little above and beyond, and they have a Safe Quality Foods Level 2 certification. So they really do care about the quality of their food. And that's not to say that they could never have a recall. Any food, even human food, can have a recall. But they really do care about the ingredients. And in fact, if you look at their website, they claim that the employees taste test, as well as the CEO, Lucy. So tasted by humans there at the company. So I think that's a pretty good endorsement for what they believe about the quality of their ingredients and their manufacturing practices. So in terms of, how to get your pet to try this, cats in particular can be very texture oriented. So, sometimes they will just look at something that's new and say, no, human, I don't think so. This doesn't look like what you've been feeding me. I'm going to walk away now, and they won't even try it. So one little trick for you is, if you dip their paw in there, they will often lick their paw and they'll say, oh, this is pretty good. In fact, I'm going to eat this. So there's a little trick for you. And so I think this is definitely something worth trying. It does look a little different, but it really is a good quality food from a perspective of nutrition. It's also fairly cost effective because you're not dealing with a ton of cans. Sometimes people look at this box and it looks kind of little, but this actually makes 6 pounds of food. So if you compare it with how much you pay for cans, it's really cost effective. The other thing is that often, if your cat or dog isn't eating your whole can, you're putting it back in your fridge, then you go to take it out, they sometimes will really pick up on that, particularly cats, and they'll say, oh, that tastes stale to me. That's been in the refrigerator for a day. I'm not going to eat it. So with this stuff, you can make exactly how much you need for each meal. So to your pets, good eating.